Yeah, now swing left.
Now swing.
Yeah.
I'm Melissa, and this is Ted. We bought a sailboat in the fall of 2024, and in real time, we're nearing the end of a huge refit. We're so glad you're here to catch up on the journey that brought us to this point. Today is an exciting day. We've been waiting for this all summer. Finally, the rigger is here to take our mast down. First, they remove the boom and lower it to the ground.
I'm up here assisting the guys. They were short a guy, so I volunteered to get up there to just help them steady things. Not doing any heavy lifting because the crane does all that. Actually, I was very interested in seeing how everything came apart and eventually went back together.
Now they're prepping the bosun's chair so that Tim can go up and fasten straps around the mast. Those straps will be used by the crane to lower the mast down. The next step is to remove the furlers and the shrouds, which are the metal cables that hold the mast up. I'm so happy to be back in the boatyard with Ted. I just flew in this morning. I woke up this morning in Michigan in my aunt's house, and after a 2-hour plane ride and about a 45-minute drive with, of course, a stop at Dunkin' on the way, we were back at the boatyard. I've been gone for 3 weeks, but it seems like a lot longer than that because a lot has happened while I've been gone. And I'm so glad that I made it back in time to see the mast come down. Now Tim and Ted are bundling the head sail furlers and the mast together so that Kevin can lift all of it with the crane and lower it all down to the ground. This is really exciting to watch, but it's a little bit scary too. This is a 56.5-foot mast, I think, and it's a little scary to see it just kind of balancing in the air like this.
Again, I'm not doing anything where I'm lifting anything heavy. The crane has got the mast there, and I'm just holding things steady so they can disconnect items. I've had lower back issues for most of my life, and so I always wanted to make sure I wasn't lifting anything heavy, but steadying things and pulling things is something that I'm capable of doing. Now we're just doing the final alignment so the mast can properly lay down on the stack of blocks that we have for it, so nothing gets damaged.
It looks like they're trying to get the mast all lined up just right so that it will rest on the blocks that we have already sitting on the ground waiting for it. This is a very meticulous process. This mast, I've been told, weighs over 400 pounds, so they have to be very, very careful with it as they lower it down. Now that the mast is down, we can thoroughly inspect it, and we can remove the old wiring and install new wiring and equipment that needs to be replaced. This is the best time to do all of that because everything is very easy to reach at this point.
The only line that the rigger said was somewhat usable is the halyard. He thinks the halyard was probably between 5 to 7 years old. And even look at this. This is the main halyard. You see some of those lines? That's where they were wrapped around the pulleys. Really nothing salvageable here for a halyard, nothing. There's signs of damage, and that's in the middle of the line, and you know, you can't use that as a halyard. I didn't get this line coiled yet, but this is the main line on the Traveler. And see how frayed that is? It's in really bad shape. There's some places where it was almost completely frayed through. Look at this. They were saying this boat was sail away ready, and I mean, these things are really old and frayed. This boat was not taken care of at all. And the rigger just kept shaking his head every time he'd look at another line.
What are you doing?
I am removing the old radar. It's a Raymarine, antiquated antique, and it doesn't work.
Is the new one smaller?
Yep. Yeah, it's a new Simrad or BNG. It's the exact same thing. Halo 20.
Ah.
And it's got way more features than this old punk I had. It's best day. And this is the last bolt coming out. This may be the only time we'll see the Mast on the ground.
I hope so.
Well, we're gonna.
We don't need to
everything
see
make
it on the
this thing
ground.
bulletproof for
Again.
hopefully 20 years. Maybe not.
Yeah.
20 years, but hopefully a very long time.
Good.
And we're redoing everything that needs to be redone so that this thing doesn't have to come down, and my inspections going up the Mast will be limited because we'll have a lot of new equipment and things that are going to be more maintenance free. So that is the goal here.
Great.
A few more turns of this bolt.
Woohoo!
And here,
Get rid of the old dinosaur. Our work is finished for the day, and we're going to celebrate the fact that the Mast is down, and we're going to walk downtown and go to a classic car show. Today is another exciting day because Kevin is going to come back and use the crane this time to pull the engine out of Selah. Our mechanic Jim is here and he's helping to get the engine all strapped up and ready to remove.
Yeah, it's oily. Just let it drain out. It's not gonna go anywhere.
that cringe I'm making is because we just discovered that all
Yeah,
the
now-
engine
now
oil
swing
is
left
dumping
off.
into
Yeah.
the engine bilge. Yikes.
Yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, right there. Now retract back. Yep, looking good. Yep. Yeah, get ready.
Jim is going to take the engine back to his shop and do some more repairs on it. Here's the engine bilge after the engine has been removed. It's got several inches of oil in the bottom of it and stuff spilled everywhere. This will be fun to clean up.
You know, you always think that you have a plan worked out completely, and in this case, this motor had a system where you can pump all the oil out of the motor and change it and pump, actually pour the new oil back in. The problem is I disconnected the line off of the pump, and I sealed it with a plug, and there it, you know, in theory everything should have worked out perfectly. But what happened was he had the head of the engine off of the motor, and I did not consider that the head is oiled by ports that go through the block up into the head. And so when we tilted the engine up, like we rotated it up, all the oil started pouring out of the engine block. And so of course it's all in the bay here. This is the engine bay. Fortunately, this does not end up going into the bilge. It's all completely contained, but as you can see, it's going to be a horrid mess to get it cleaned up. We're probably going to have to sacrifice a shop vac.
Wow, that was a really big mess. But we got all the oil cleaned up with the help of our trusty shop vac, and now Ted's moving on to the next project.
This is the coupler that mounts the shaft to the engine transmission. So there's a coupler just like this on the engine transmission. Unfortunately, what I did is I completely took the prop off before I decided to take this off. And here I had to bang it a few times with a persuader, but really it's what this is. It's a pulley. I put some PB Blaster and basically let a little bit of the surface rust break free, and basically just slowly pulling this off. And there she goes. It also has a little keyway, and I'm going to have to tap this out. That allows that to fit in there. You see that? Mm-hmm. This is a dripless system. We're going to take that off and check everything. And those two bolts are for the shaft log, and that's where the shaft slides into the hole itself.
Gonna suddenly let go and like hit you? Oh yeah. There we go.
This is how old men do exercise. This is the strut, and I've polished out the strut. We took all of the bottom paint off. I pulled the bolts out from underneath of it, as you can see, and basically what I'm doing is I'm polishing. I'm actually putting a plate that's a backer plate where the bolts will go through, and they'll go through this about a 1/2 inch aluminum plate, and I'm having the holes drilled just because I want them drilled straight on a drill press.
It's been another busy day. We're finishing up the day with a walk and some ice cream. We're glad you were here to share the excitement of the mast coming down and the engine coming out for repairs. We've been waiting 3 months for this. Now we can really get going on the priority projects that need to be done before we launch Selah. We have less than 2 months left to get her in the water before the cold weather sets in. Make sure you come back next time, as we'll be repairing and strengthening the areas around the chain plates and mounting new navigation equipment on the mast. We really appreciate you watching and participating in our journey. You can check out our Facebook page from the link in the description, and you can even buy us a coffee. A big thank you to those who have already done that. And please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It's free and it helps YouTube share our story with others who might enjoy watching it. See you next time.